If you open your phone right now, it will have at least 10 to 15 apps that you will have downloaded, right? So you must be thinking, oh, so this is common across the globe and everybody does the same, right? Yes. So now you can be easily creating the apps for the business requirements. You can be a pro developer, you can be a citizen developer, still you have a provision to create beautiful applications. And in the Power Apps, it offers you two category of applications. One is the Canvas app and second is the model driven app. We are going to learn more of building the Canvas app, the elements behind the same, building the model driven app and the elements behind the same in this module. Let's see more. So till now we have seen the Dataverse part. We have seen how to build the tables, how to create the columns in the tables, and all of that is done. And that's why we can continue now with describing how to build the applications with the Power Apps. We very well know that in Power Apps, we have two categories. One happens to be the Canvas app and second is the model driven app. So let us know what is Power App, what are the features that it offers, and how is it going to help us create the applications. So the agenda of this module is to overview of the Power Apps. Then comes how to build the Canvas app and how to build the model-driven app. So these are some of the pointers that we are going to cover in this particular module. Now let us see the introduction to the Power Apps. So when I want to introduce you to this module, you should be learning what is Power App and what is the business value that it creates. We need to learn how one of the world's largest airports is digitizing its processes using the Power Apps. And also should we see the Power Apps in actions and learn some of the options for making our first application. I know most of our participants here will be beginners because this is the PL 900 course and creating an app is going to be altogether fresh experience. So this is definitely going to add to your knowledge today. So basically, before we proceed, we should know what is a Power App and what it can do for us. So Power App is again a low code, no code platform for building the applications. When I say building applications, we are very familiar with applications these days. For each and everything from morning till evening, we will be using one or the other application. So there are so many applications that we will have downloaded in our iOS phones or the Android phones. And we are very, very used to using the applications. And here, the applications that we are talking about are for the business requirements. And we can work with the data where it lives. We don't have to put any extra effort. And there are two categories of Power Apps. The first one is the Canvas app and second is the model driven app. The Canvas app is built from blank canvas. It is more of a user-friendly approach, which is UI rich. You can be customizing, you can be using multiple data sources, but when it comes to the model-driven app, it is built from data in Microsoft Dataverse. You already know what is Dataverse, how the Dataverse works, and how the tables are created. The same tables are used to create an application, and that is through the model-driven app. So coming to the next one, we can be adding the AI to the application with no code. We don't necessarily have to have a coding experience to add the AI to our application. We can be using multiple models in our app. There are a lot of AI models already. There are some of the pre-built models which are already existing. There can be some models which you are creating on your own. So one of the example that they have given here is a prediction model. So what does a prediction do? It is going to provide you with an yes or no category of an answer based on the past or the historical data. So depending on the historical data, you're going to predict the future, right? So that's about adding AI to your app with no code. So similarly, there are a lot of models like this and not just only the prediction. So now coming to the Canvas app, let us deep dive a little more. So these offer a great option when you want to build an app from blank. So basically, you can be choosing whatever size you require. You can go for a tablet mode or you can go for a mobile mode. So choosing of this is not available in the case of model driven. Then you have a blank screen from where you can start building. But that doesn't again mean that you can't start from the data source. You very well can. And you can be interacting with data in your application by adding multiple data sources. If you're good with SharePoint, you can be fetching the data from there. If you want, you can be fetching the data from SQL, Excel, from anywhere. So that again depends on your requirement. So the multiple features that it has is again drag and drop. You can be using various controls. You can be adding the desired functionalities. And when you're doing this, you will be needing a category of formula, which is called Excel styled formula. And when I say Excel style formula, you very well know that they are the PowerFX formula. You will have definitely seen the PowerFX formula, or you will have used them, and the similar category of formula you'll be using here as well. So the Canvas app provides complete flexibility when you are building the applications. Coming to the model-driven app, it is again built from data in Microsoft Dataverse. The Power Apps will be building, or it is going to help you build great looking, fully functional applications to act upon and to interact with the data that you are using. When I say the model driven app, it is responsive, meaning it works on the mobile as well as tablet with no extra work for you. You don't have to necessarily choose its size. It's responsive. And here in the case of model driven app, it is a component focused approach. When I say component focused, it defines the relationships, the forms, the views, the business rules, and more at the data layer inside of Dataverse. So that itself gives you enough control to get a business result without writing all the formula by yourself. Isn't that really cool? So that's about the introduction to the Canvas as well as the model driven app. Now let's differentiate between these two. When I say Canvas, no data words is necessarily required. If you want to, you can use it, but it is not data words driven. But when it comes to the model driven, yes, it is driven by the data words. So here in the case of the Canvas, it is task or screen focused. It is role based. But the model driven is back office and the process focused approach. It is more of the process related approach when you consider creating an app. Then comes customization of UI, which is very, very flexible in the case of Canvas. But in the model driven, it is responsive and the consistent UI throughout. Coming to the device integration, yes, it is possible in the case of Canvas, but in the case of model driven, you will have a lot of user personalization. The Canvas app is easily embeddable, and the model driven is again a data relationship navigation with a security trimming of UI possible. So that's the differentiation between the Canvas as well as model driven. But when you perform the labs, you understand the techniques used in creating the Canvas as well as the model driven apps better. Now, the Power Apps and what it can do for you. Again, a very important pointer because it has security and administration. Why is it important? Because you've already seen the admin.powerplatform.com and you know how the environments are created. So when I say Power Apps, it also has its own set of PowerShell CMDlets. And for whom is it? It is for the app creators. It is for the administrators. It is for the developers that allow you to automate many administrative duties. And also, does it drive the business value? So what are those? It is about users who can easily build the applications. One need not be having any coding knowledge or the programming knowledge, but this person can be easily building the applications with whatever existing knowledge that the person has. Power Apps also allow even the most entry-level users to reduce the paperwork. And it also increases the process efficiency and ensures a single source of truth. You can be deploying the subject matter experts of your company to create any application that you require in your day-to-day business requirement. And that's something Power App can offer, and it is going to be a coolest feature which you have ever tried. And here is a customer case study, which is from the Heathrow Airport, which has about 76,000 workers and about 2 lakh travelers in a single day. This is the world's largest airport, which makes every journey better as per them. And it has empowered the frontline workers to build the applications and solve the problems. So we have to see a video of Mr. Samit Saini, who is a former security worker who is turned into an app maker, who has created an app that held security information, which is translated into dozens of different languages. I'm definitely going to demonstrate that video to you for you to get a clear view of what are we trying to do here in this particular case. So I'm going to now play a video. You can be seeing this and you can get influenced and inspired from what this person, Mr. Samit Saini, has done.
My name is Samit Saini and I'm a IT user adoption specialist at Heathrow. I've been a security officer for 13 years. Being a security officer, you didn't know that you could come to IT without a degree or skills. You need some kind of talent or knowledge or experience. That's how I felt. I started to learn Power Apps and I thought, why didn't no one know this? This is just amazing. I felt like I found the greatest secret ever because this could have so much potential to change so many things. I want to make an impact or make a difference to helping passengers to have the best journey that they can have. The first app that I created was a language app that we use at Heathrow to help translate to passengers who aren't able to speak English. It was such an easy way to convert a catalog into an app within weeks. As an international airport, you want to help give the best service. That's why I created the Special Assistant app, that helps us identify how we can give our reduced mobility passengers the best service we can. Power Apps enabled me to do a lot of things, but the great thing about it is it made me feel smart. It's changed my life completely. Like I couldn't imagine being in IT, especially with the skills I had before. But the skills I have now, I feel like a big part of the team, and I'm making not just a living, but a difference. And I'm learning every single day, and I feel like I've got such a passion for it now that my thirst for knowledge would not stop. Through these Power Apps, we have saved £700 a month, 280 hours of manual input data, and 11,000 sheets of paper. Basically, we get to save a tree. It doesn't matter if you're a security officer or security manager, we've got this powerful tool that anybody can use and create and learn from. If I can create this app, you can create it too.
So I'm sure you are really happy seeing the video, because who doesn't get inspired from somebody who was just a security personnel and who has created a beautiful application, turning into an IT person who has created beautiful apps and has helped the world's largest Heathrow Airport, right? So if a person who was a citizen developer can do it, any citizen developer around the world can easily be adapting to this latest technology and create wonders. So that was the demonstration. And now we should be knowing how to build a Canvas app. In this, we will be learning the basic elements of Power Apps. There's an exercise to build a Canvas app, which we will be doing practically. Then we will be customizing the elements of the application and configure and manage the app settings. So these are some of the pointers that we are going to cover in this module. Coming to learn the basic elements, you should definitely know that there is an interface we use to build an app, and that interface is called the Power App Studio. Second, the app format can be of a mobile or a tablet. Whichever mode we want, we can be choosing. Coming to the galleries, we can be displaying rows from the table of data. So whatever is existing, if we are displaying that, then it becomes a gallery. And how different is that from a form? Because form displays the details from a specific table row, and it also accepts the responses. When you want to collect the data, you can create a form. If you want to display the data, you can go and create a gallery. There are again different categories of galleries. You can have a vertical gallery, you can have a horizontal gallery. It again is left to your choice when you're working on your app. Coming to the input controls, we have text inputs, we have the buttons, we have drop downs, we have some toggles and many more. Then also we have some intelligent controls because we know that there is AI everywhere. We can be making an app, the AI rich app. So for that, we have some rich controls for more advanced operations. Coming to the functions, when they say it is about the PowerFX or the Excel style formula, that's the glue which binds all the inputs, the controls, as well as the data sources. In case you want to have a connect established between two screens of your Canvas app or two different components from your Canvas app, you will be needing to understand how the formula are set, how the formula are being used, right? So these are some of the basic elements in the Canvas app. Coming to the Power App Studio, yes, it does look like this. This is the Power App Studio. And in the Power App Studio, you can be creating your Canvas apps. And when I say the Power App Studio, it has 3 panes. When I say 3 panes, it is about left, it is about the middle and the right. So when I say middle, it is going to be your app itself. Left is about the tree view, which is going to give you the hierarchical components which you have used, or the components which are put in what particular hierarchy in your application. So how many screens are used? What are the different components used? So if you want to have a hierarchical view of your components used in your application, you will have to go to the left pane. When you go to the right pane, it is mostly for the properties. You can be deciding what color you want, what category of a border, what kind of a font you want to use, what's the font size. That's done on the right side. So basically, the Power App Studio will have 3 panes, left, middle, and right. Now comes the app format. You can be choosing your app and you can be choosing from what way do you want to create your app. Do you want to create it from a data source? Go ahead. Do you want to create it from Figma, which is a UI kit, or an image? You can do that. Do you want to create it from blank? You can do that as well. So you can be choosing your formats and you can be choosing what way in which you want to create your app. Coming to the templates, yes, these are some of the ready-made applications which are already created and are provided to you. All you have to do is just keep them as base. You can be modifying them as per your requirements. There are a lot of templates available. You can be using any number of them. All you have to do is just modify them and use them, but you cannot delete any standard template which is available. Coming to the forms, like I mentioned, the forms will be always receiving the responses. You collect the responses from the users via forms. When you create a form, you can be setting some parameters and the parameters responses can be received through the form. When a person is responding to it, that can be collected again in your data source. It can be your Dataverse or any other data source which you link to. So there can be multiple forms created. These are some of the edit forms that are present. So here you can clearly see asset ID is required and somebody has entered the same. Approver's email is required, which is also entered. There is an asset type required that is entered as a tablet, but which is picked from the drop down. Like this, you can be choosing multiple options in a form and be collecting the data. Now comes the input controls. You can be using any number of input controls. There are a lot of input controls available. You can use the drop downs, you can use some buttons, you can use the toggles, you can use radio. There are a lot of controls available which you can be easily using and integrating in your applications. Now comes the intelligent controls. So intelligent control again comes down to the AI builder that we talk about. So here you can already see there are some business card readers, the processor for the receipt or the form processor, object detector, text recognizer. There are so many of them. You can use them. You can use some of the existing models, or if you want, you can be creating your own models. This is done only to enhance the capability of the application that you have created. Coming to the functions, yes, they take the parameters, they complete an operation and return a value. So for example, in the case of a square root, you just write sqrt of 25 and it gives you a value of 5. Like this, you can be modeling a lot of functions from Microsoft Excel functions, and you can be deciding on the behaviors as well, on what a particular button has to do or what an icon has to do. There are some signals also which return the information about the environment. It can be the location, which again returns the device's current GPS coordinates. And but signals don't take the parameters or have any side effects as such. There can be enumerations, which is again predefining some constant values. For example, there can be a color. Color can be an enumeration that has some predefined values like color.red, color.blue. You can be deciding what needs to be set there. Coming to some named operators, there are some existing, which can be this item. It can be a parent, which does provide an access to the information from within a particular container. So this is about functions. So here in this case, you are having text inputs. Text input is again a component in your Canvas app. How many have we used here? This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Now, what are we trying to do? We are trying to get the result, which is the sum of the 2 into the text input 3. So basically, we are trying to understand how the addition is done, and we are understanding the result is being stored in the text input 3. We can have a text input 3 created, which is equal to the sum of text input 1 and text input 2. The same is being done here in this case. There are some simple formula. You can be extending them. You can make it more complicated. You can make it simpler. You can address the simple formula to the complex scenarios, or you can address the complex formula to the complex scenario. It again, so you will be developing the skills of making the formula more and more simpler while you work with it and you gain the experience, for which you can be starting from the simplest formula and walk towards creating the complex ones. But again, when I say complex ones, they are complex only when you begin. But when you proceed with your journey with Power Apps, writing the formula becomes the most simplest thing that you have ever done, because you can be just doing it as and when required and with no efforts at all. Coming to the copilots in the Power Apps, it can be used for the app creation, where Copilot can assist the app makers while designing the Canvas apps in the Power Apps, of course. And it can also be assisting the users or the app makers to add some controls. Maybe if you want to add something, you can ask the Copilot to add the same. And the Copilot, without saying anything, it is just going to add the component that you want, right? So that's about the Copilot in Power Apps. And now to demonstrate, you need to build a Canvas app. Basically, you can connect to a data source. Then you can be exploring the generated app, because once you connect to a data source and generate an app, you can be exploring how it looks like. Because when you create a Canvas app from a data source, there is already an app created. You can explore the same. If you want, you can install the app in your device, and in your phones as well, you can be exploring the application. So there will be basically 3 screens created when you connect to a data source for an app creation, and that will be browse screen, detail screen, and edit screen. These are the 3 screens that will be populated by default when you create a Canvas app from data source. There will be a lot of controls as well. It will be galleries, it will be forms, it will be media, and the charts. So you can decide how you want to create the Canvas app. But in the syllabus for PL 900, we have an exercise to create a Canvas app from data source. Now, how do we share? Because once we create an app, we should also be having a provision to share. How do we do that? First, we need to prepare to share an app. How? By saving the same. Once we save, we need to click share. So when we share, it is again, you need to decide whether it is for specified users or groups. You can decide what group do you want to share it with, or which specific user you want to share it with. You can as well consider the security groups as well. But make sure you remember about the permissions, because users and contributors need permission to access the app that you have shared. And they also need the permissions to any data connects and the gateways that are shared with the users for the app access. And some permissions are implicit while others can be explicitly granted. That again can be decided on their own. So now we should be moving towards the lab. The lab here is for deciding on how we can proceed with the Canvas app and for you to understand how to build a Canvas app. There's a simple exercise in the GitHub, instructions are also given. We can be creating the same app now. For this, I'm going to take you to the lab, and there I'm going to show you all the instructions one after the other on solving each. We will be coming to an end with a beautiful application that we have created. Let's move to the lab now and create an app. We have seen the Canvas app. We have seen how the Canvas app is being created. What are the components of the Canvas app? What are the basic elements? What is the Power App Studio? What is Power App Studio comprising of? What are the 3 panes which are present there? And how are we going to create a Canvas app, and how beautifully within no time using the Excel style formula can we easily create the Canvas app? All this is being studied in this module, and also have we understood how user-friendly is a Canvas app. So the process is simple. You will have to work a little more on the formula part, and you can definitely be creating wonders using the same.